Good morning, friends. It's Thursday. Hi. Suri's in the hallway, and Suri the cat, and she's being very talkative this morning. So hopefully she's nice and doesn't bother me too much during class. She's got a lot to say today. I pulled this wonderful card today, Warrior 3, which is so awesome because I have a ton of stuff we can do to find your balance. It doesn't mean that you're going to do this pose today. That's quite all right. But oh my gosh, it's so fun. There's so much to do. I'm really excited about it. One of the big principles of Ki-Hara, I mean, it's like the big thing is that when you balance your front and back and your top and bottom and your side to side, everything's really balanced out, then your center of gravity is like it's like in one place. It's this big giant, like gyro. It's not even giant. It's this little tiny gyroscope in the middle of your abdomen that holds you in place. And so any kind of balancing act just ends up being like tipping around that without falling over. So fun. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be awesome. Quick thing to say. Sometimes the internet is a little wonky, so I apologize if the screen isn't as great as it could be. We are at the mercy of the internet. I do have it at the highest speed possible, but sometimes it comes and goes. So if it gets a little pixelated, just give it a second. Hopefully it'll work itself out. If it gets really bad, I'll just restart my computer and start everything over. Okay, sometimes the reboot helps. That being said, let's see. Sorry, I just saw something like floating outside. There are these crazy pigeons outside today. They're very aggressive. Maybe that's what Suri's talking about. Anyway, Thursday. Let's do this. My brain today. Let's do it. For those of you who are new to Ki-Hara, welcome to my world. We're doing resistance stretching. We have 3 basic rules to do this method in the right way. First rule is that you move all the time. All the time. We don't hold anything. Second rule is that you resist all the time. Third rule, don't do anything that hurts. There she is. Don't do anything that hurts at all. Oh, Bubba. Yeah, it's a tough morning, huh? Yeah. If anything does hurt, just take it down a notch, take it into a smaller range of motion, or just completely skip the stretch, okay? All right. For those of you who are returning, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. What are you doing? A lot of people say that they miss the live class because they just don't know about it. So if that's the case, click the notification bell. After you subscribe, there's a little bell, and you can actually customize. Either it'll personally send you things, or you can personalize it. Google knows everything about you, right? So there's that piece, but also you can just set it up so that it alerts you whenever I post a new video, okay? So you might want to do that just to make sure that you don't miss anything. But also, just write down on your calendar, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time. If I missed you yesterday, I'm sorry. I went to the allergist, and I had high hopes for pre-recording, but this class is an hour long, and to pre-record, upload, everything, I just didn't find the time. So I apologize for missing yesterday. All right. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is just kind of explore Warrior 3, which is a balancing pose, and just see what it feels like to you today, just to kind of get where you're at from a baseline perspective. Now, I don't expect you to do this stretch. I don't expect you to feel comfortable in it or confident in it. I just want to see where you're at so that we can, figure out where to go next. So you'll just balance on one foot, tip one leg back, and at the same speed, tip your head forward. And just see how far you can comfortably go. Right now, I'm a little tight. I rode my bicycle to the allergist, which I don't usually do, because, lockdown, I didn't want to take an Uber anywhere, because that just seems like a bad idea. So I rode a bicycle. It was a beautiful day. My muscles are a little bit like, why are you doing this? So anyway, so here's where I am at this point where I feel stable. Now, if I go further into the stretch, I'm going to feel like I'm going to fall over. And I don't want to get to that point. I just want to stay in the place where I feel really stable. That's going to change as we open up and balance more muscles. Let's try the other side. So plant your other leg. And at the same speed that you bring your head to the floor, you bring your foot back. And just notice where you are, where your body says, that's my stability. So here I notice I start to get a little wobble. So I'm just gonna find that strength and come right back. Yeah, she has a lot of personality today. I don't know what's going on. So you just find this back and forth, okay? And just to keep moving, keep going from your rooted, straight up, stable position into this tipping bird. Now, warrior also has your arms in front of you. So if you feel like you can go far enough into the stretch, if you really want to try, you can bring your arms up too. I feel like what this does is it gives you a little bit more of a counterbalance from your feet. It gives you that, but also puts a little bit of spinal extension in your back, which might be welcome today, might not, right? We'll work through it. Do you need your belly rubbed? You do? You're not sure? Okay, get out of here. All right, so the first stretch you're gonna do is for your inner thighs. Now, I really just want you to think about the strength training element of this stretch, and it'll shake a little bit. And when you're doing the stretch, see if you can find that shake. The more you embrace that feeling of shakiness, of like unsteadiness, the more your balance is going to feel confident. So you just need to feel what it feels like to be shaky, okay? So let's lay on our backs. Bring your feet up towards the ceiling and grab your knees on the inner thighs. Like I just grab my hands on the inside, my thumbs are pointing down, palms out, but you can flip it if you want. You do what feels good to you. Push your feet together, that's strength. And then when you open up, you'll come into your stretch. You'll feel this in your inner thighs. From here, squeeze in. This is strength training. See if you can find that little bit of shakiness, the little tremor. Sometimes it's easy to find. Sometimes it's not as easy to find. So see if you can find that shakiness and really like accept the shakiness, embrace it, be happy with it. It's actually going to be helpful for you. So find that feeling and just go back and forth. In for strength and out for stretch. You should feel this in the inner thighs. If anything feels bad, you can just stop doing the stretch. You don't need to do it. You do whatever feels good to you, right? Find the stretch in your inner thigh and then squeeze in. Find the shakiness. There's strength in it, which seems kind of funny because usually people think if they're shaky, they're weak. But that's not really what it is at all. It's just your body trying to find stability, right? And all of a sudden, you've got strength happening in your inner thighs that usually only happens when you stand up. So by adding the resistance in that way and adding that stretch, your body is kind of like, what's happening here? And we're just like reestablishing the right neuromuscular connections to make you feel more balanced. It's actually really cool. Now, the next stretch we're going to go into is reverse pigeon pose. If you are confident with regular pigeon pose, you could do that too. The reason I'm doing that today is because these pigeons are flying out. They just flew by again. They are like two of the weirdest pigeons in my backyard right now. It's great and so weird. Okay, so bring your right leg up. Let your knee open up to the side and reach through and grab your left leg with both hands. Push your right leg away from you for strength and pull in for your stretch. This is reverse pigeon pose, if you know pigeon pose. Suri, what did you find? Wait until you guys see her. She's out of the camera range, but she found the wind protector of my microphone. It's a little foam ball. And it's now her favorite thing. So just go out and in, make sure you're resisting. You should feel a nice stretch in your glute. If you want to do this in traditional pigeon pose, if you feel like that's safe for your body, then you can bring your body in the other direction. So you put your right leg on top, on the front here, your left leg in the back, and you'll squeeze with your legs and then slowly lower in. Of course, only do this if it feels good to you, right? Just find the strength that feels good. But this is not good. Just go back on your back and do that reverse pigeon, okay? Did you find your favorite? Which one? Let's get this. Okay. All right, now lay on your back and let's bring the left leg on top. So reach through and grab your right leg with both hands. Push your left leg away from your body with your glutes. and pull in with your arms. So you'll go out for strength and pull in for your stretch. And you just go back and forth, okay? Out for strength and in for stretch. Find the stretch in your glute on the left side. And if you want to do traditional pigeon pose, and by traditional I mean in the Ki-Hara sense, you can flip over and bring your left leg to the front, and you'll scissor your leg. So you try to push with your front leg into the floor and try to squeeze. So you're trying to actually squeeze your legs together like this. When you find that resistance, then you can slowly lower yourself down, keeping your chest up and keeping the spinal extension. This is a pigeon pose in honor of the crazy pigeons outside of my window. All right, do as many of those as you want, okay? And then we'll move on from there. I just want to check the chat real quick. All right. Okay, good. All right, the next stretch we're going to do is for your hamstrings. So let's go into a lunge. And since we're working on balance today, we'll work on our hamstrings from this direction. So bring your right leg in front of you, your left leg behind, and you're going to try to kick your heel to your glutes, okay? So it's like you're trying to kick in. As you do that, you're going to grab your mat with your heel and try to pull your heel towards you, okay? But the mat will stop you, so you actually get stuck there. If you let that front leg win, it'll pull you forward and contract the hamstring here. If you'll stretch maybe your hip flexor. Then use your back leg, just sit back and find the stretch in your hamstring. As you do that, you can lean forward into the stretch if that feels good. Keep kicking with your heel though. You want to keep that hamstring engaged. And then pull in. This is your strength training move. And back for your stretch. In for strength and back for stretch. Find that stretch in a way that's the best for you. And then, hey, you guys, there's not a lot of people on live today, which is fine. But if you guys have any questions or requests or suggestions or anything that you want to work on specifically, let me know. Say hi. Tell me who's here. Okay. So pull in for strength. Grab this hamstring and pull back into your stretch. Find that stretch. You ready? Okay, and when you're ready, we're just going to switch sides. So bring your right leg to the back, your left leg in the front. Try to kick your heel back to engage the hamstring on your left side, and that's going to pull you forward. So that pulls you in, contracts that hamstring, and then use your back leg to pull you back. So you just sit back, find the hamstring stretch. You can lean forward into it, maybe put your hands down, but make sure you keep that hamstring engaged, okay? So you just go back and forth. So your foot is always trying to kick back. Your left foot is always trying to kick your butt. Your knee is always trying to bend. And then your lower body just kind of, like your back body, I guess you could say, like my hips, my right leg takes over the force and pulls me back. So there's like a tug of war between my two legs. So find this pose for you. Find what feels really good. If you feel any shakiness, you want to kind of embrace that shake, right? See if you can find a little bit of tension, a little bit of uncertainty, and then be okay with that uncertainty, right? Work within it. Work in the way that it's okay, I'm a little shaky. It's all right. I'm okay in this shakiness. If you're falling over, then you're not okay in your shakiness, right? So find the boundary that works the best for you. All right, now we're just going to switch legs again. So bring your right leg to the front. We're going to do the same motion where you try to pull your right leg back and your left leg forward, but now we're going to focus on this hip flexor. So use that front leg to pull you forward. Stick your chest up just a little bit, lean back, keep that back leg engaged like you're trying to kick your knee forward, and find this stretch in your left hip flexor. Then pull back, finding the strength here in the hip flexor. And then use your front leg to pull you forward. So we're doing the same movement, the same resistance. The only difference is your intention. So now your intention I guess even your attention. Put your attention on your back leg, right? Intend to stretch your hip flexor. Even though the same move is happening, the same things are happening, it just depends on where you put your attention, right? So from this position, do you feel that, like, where you're safe within your shakiness? See if you can find your wobble, right? Just kind of work on the edge of where you feel a little unstable without falling over. She's so funny. She plays like that. Then she eats because it's like she's been hunting. Now she's going to take a nap right here. Okay, so now switch legs. So my right leg's in the back, my left leg's in the front. And now we're going to scissor our legs again, just like before. So your front leg's going to try to kick back, your back leg's trying to kick forward. And you just use that front leg to pull you forward into the stretch. See if you can find this stretch in your right hip flexor now, to be right in the front of your right hip. Put your attention there, even though we're doing the same movement. Now it's a focus on the stretch for the hip on the right side as you come forward and strength training that hip as you come back. Find the place where you just feel a little bit shaky. Make sure that you understand the boundary of where your shakiness is, not taking yourself deeper into the shakiness, like to the point where you might fall over, but understanding where your boundary is, where you feel safe, but also how you're challenging your stability, right? Now, you'll notice I do as many stretches as I feel like. You guys are welcome to play around with how, like, the amount of repetitions that you do. We usually say about 6 to 10 repetitions is good. But I mean, really, you can just do as many as you want. So just listen to your body. It'll tell you. It'll tell you when it's done, okay? Now let's go back into our inner thigh stretch, see if we can really access that shakiness just a little bit more. All right, so lay on your back. Embrace the shake. Bring your feet up. Grab your knees on the inside. Squeeze your legs together. You feel them kind of like, whoa, like an earthquake. Find that shakiness. And then within the shakiness, find the stretch. And then up, find the shake. And use your legs to resist in while your arms open you into the stretch. With a little shake in them. Just your body trying to stay stable. You know consciously that you're on your back and you're fine. Your body's not so sure what's going on right here. That's why it's shaking. It doesn't quite understand. And that's okay. So find the shake. Oh, there we go. Sometimes I just have to let it go. Like I have to allow it. I can hold my legs really rigid, and go into the stretch and have it be really smooth. Or I can find the shake. And I usually find that with just a little bit of shake, still resisting, I can really access this muscle very deeply. It's great. I get kind of like warm. I don't know if you guys noticed that in this stretch, but when you do that, you might feel like a heat release. I have a theory about it being brown adipose tissue, which is brown fat, which gets activated when you shiver. So there's like this like shivering motion. It creates a healing response in your body. So it's actually a really good thing. But, it's a theory that I have. It could be totally wrong. I'm full of good theories though. All right, let's go into our rotator cuff next. So have a seat in a way that feels really comfortable to you. You could sit on your knees like I am, or you could sit in a chair if you want. You can really do whatever you want. Just find a way to sit that feels comfortable. Bring your hands together so that your thumbs are right over your forehead or over your crown chakra right here. So find that piece. And then from here, you're going to squeeze your elbows in like you're trying to pop a balloon between your arms. Keep your hands and keep your thumbs hovering over your head. See if you can find this stretch in the back of your shoulders. Okay. First, see if you can just find that little piece of shakiness. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just allow it, right? You can still resist and allow the shake. It might be minimal, and this one you might not be able to find it at all, and that's okay. But if you can find it, let it happen, all right? And then the cool thing about this stretch is that two things are happening at once, right? Two arms are stretching. And those muscles are being pulled away from your spine. Your shoulder blades are opening and closing. So just be aware of the balance that's happening between the two sides at the same time. They're linked together, right? They work together as a team. So find that connectedness between both arms. You feel the stretch in the back of your shoulders. And if you really catch it, you might even feel your shoulder blades opening and closing, working together, right? Do as many repetitions as you want. Again, it's up to you, right? You do what you want. But about 10 would be fine. And remember to always resist, always move. And if anything hurts, just don't work that much, okay? Like here, I'm not actually closing my elbows because today it doesn't quite feel right for me to do that. I don't know why, but that's, I feel a little bit of pinchy here, a little bit of fatigue. So maybe I just need to work a little bit on my chest, right? So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're gonna go up against a wall or a chair. A countertop works really well, a table. You just wanna find something that's about hip level. Bring your hands in front of you, and you're going to try to pull your arms down. So if you were on a chair, let me grab my chair real quick. It would look like this, okay, and I'm pushing down. Same thing if you were on like a countertop, you push your hands into the counter. I feel like doing this on the wall today, so I'm going to put my hands in front of me on the wall and try to pull down from there. As I do that, I'm just going to bend my hips and pull my head through to catch this stretch in the front of my shoulders. Now again, this is working in tandem. There's one, my right shoulder and my left shoulder are working together. The muscles in my chest and my biceps and the front of my shoulders, they're working as a team. So you pull up for strength, both arms are working together. Pull down for stretch, get that stretch from your sternum to your shoulders. Usually people feel this in their armpits the most. And just go back and forth, up and down. Find this stretch in the way that feels the best to you. Just feel how it's connected. Try to find this interconnectedness. And even the connectedness between your legs and your arms, how they work together as a team also. Up for strength and down for your stretch. Sorry, you're gonna have to move, Bubba. You are in the way. She's right in front of the camera. Yeah, okay, good job. Good job, sorry. It's tough being a cat sometimes, I saw this shirt online that I almost bought. It says, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm an inside cat. And I was like, I need to buy that shirt. It's like the perfect lockdown shirt and perfect for me, right? It's such a cat lady. Accept it, right? Just own who you are. Okay, so now we're gonna work on our lats. So bring your right arm up so that your hand is just behind your head or behind your neck, or it could be like on your spine between your shoulder blades. Find a place that just feels good, so your arm's just kind of hovering there. It'll stop when it wants to stop. Then grab your elbow with your left hand. You're gonna try to pull both arms apart, and as you do that, your lats are gonna engage through the side of your body here. So resist in that way, and then use your left arm to pull you towards your left knee. It's a down and a forward motion. It's kind of like a diagonal to find the stretch from your right shoulder down towards your hip. And you just go up and down. So up for strength and down for stretch. Now your lats are another one of those muscle groups that work like kind of in tandem, both sides, right? So as you're pulling here, you're actually building that strength on both sides. So notice how the two are working together. Up for strength and down for stretch. Everything's connected, right? Up for strength, pull down for your stretch, down towards your left knee. You can change up the direction that you want to go in. If you want to go like fully to the left, that's okay. It might be a little tighter. If you go straight down, it might move a little more. It might feel a little different. You just see what feels good to you. Remember that the point here is to find the tension, find it in your muscle and pull that tension out. The goal here is not to get like your nose to your knee. That's not the point, right? The point is to find tension and remove it in the best way that you can, right? So up for strength, down for your stretch. Oh, good. Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides. So bring your left arm up. Let your hand just hover behind your head, your neck, your shoulders, whatever feels good. And then grab your elbow with your right hand. Try to pull both arms apart. So you're going to resist again. And then this time pull towards your right knee. You'll pull down for your stretch and up for strength, finding the stretch on the outside of your body on the left side right through here. Find that lat stretch in the way that feels the best to you. And you just go back and forth. Up for strength and down for stretch. And just notice how both sides feel connected. You want to really find that, put your attention in that place, okay? So understanding that like your left side and your right side lats are working together as a team. They're keeping you centered and balanced. So see if you can find that. When you come up here, your lats are pulling you up. When you come down the other way, one side of your lats are pulling you down, the other side is fighting, right? So you kind of have this back and forth between the two. Oh, it's a good stretch. Again, you can play around with this stretch, make it your own, see what feels good to you. All right, so let's work on the top of your shoulders. So bring your right arm into the side, grab your wrist with your left hand. Before you start the stretch, double check your leg positioning. Do you need to change your seating arrangement to feel better? You could stand up in this one, you could sit in a different way, you could sit in a chair, it's okay. Just make sure you're comfortable, okay? So grab your wrist with your left hand, you're gonna push straight out to the side. This is a deltoid raise for your top of your shoulder here. Then with your left arm, push down towards your hip. When you get to the bottom, bring your ear to your left side and find that stretch in your neck. This is another one where you can find this interconnectedness of the two muscle groups. So right now I'm stretching the left side of my neck, but the right side is shortening as I come over. I should mirror this for you guys. This would be your left side, my right side, right? So as you're in this position, if you feel any pinch on your left shoulder or your left neck, then switch sides because they work together as a team. You might have to do one side over the other, right? So to do that, bring your left arm in and grab your wrist with your right hand, and you'll just go up and down the same way, bringing your head over to the right this time to find that stretch in your neck. Okay, you can do either side, doesn't matter. But just recognize that they are really connected. They're like interlocked. One side works, the other side is like one side lengthens, the other side shortens, and vice versa. They work as a team. Okay? So you bring your head to the side for your stretch, up for strength. Of course, do as many as you want. If you start to feel tired, you can switch sides. If you're like certain you have to do 10, then do 10. But work in the range of motion that feels really safe and healthy to you, okay? Up for strength and down for stretch. And take note, does the stretch feel good for you? Does it feel effective? If it doesn't, it's okay to skip it. Take this opportunity to go get a drink of water, right? It's fine. You don't have to do any of the stretches if they don't feel good to you. It's not always beneficial, right? We've talked about this in some of my other classes, but really you have to listen to your body to know, is this stretch working for me or is it not? And it's possible there are just other muscle groups that are in the way. And that's the only reason why you can't do this stretch. It might have nothing to do with the fact that like, you have a tight neck, right? It could be from your lats, it could be from your chest. There are a lot of reasons that could pop up that would change what's happening in your neck. I'm having a really hard time with words today. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of a funny thing. All right, bring your hands together and put your thumbs right over your head. And here you're going to squeeze your elbows again. This is the same stretch we started with, but it might be a lot different. I can close mine now. It's like completely different, and my spine just adjusted. So yay for me. You may notice that this feels better for you, or it might just feel the same. It doesn't really matter as long as you can still get more gains. But see if you can really feel the interconnectedness of the two arms. See if you can, if you can really put your attention on your shoulder blades opening and closing on both sides. Find the balance between the two. Oh, let's do one more. All right, awesome. Okay, the next group we're going to work on is for your legs, your inner thighs. So we're going to come into a butterfly position. Oh, these stretches are awesome. This is another one where you might shake, so you can really embrace that shakiness, right? But I also want you to think about the hara, which your hara is this like little, about the size of a grapefruit maybe in your abdomen. It's a little bit lower than your belly button, a few inches in. It's where your center of gravity is. So I want you to find a place where you feel really solid in that spot, like it's a gyroscope that your whole body is moving around, okay? See if you can find that place. If you cannot find that place, you might need to sit up a little higher. So sit on some blocks or on chairs, not chairs, books or blocks or like a pillow or something. A chair would be too high, obviously. You might need to bring your feet a little further out. You might need to bring your knees a little higher up so that you really feel like you can sit in a way where you feel stable, like you're not going to fall over, okay? Then put your elbows on your knees and you're going to push down and sweep open your arms while your knees push you in. And as you do that, put your attention on your core. Put your attention on your hara. It should feel like a center, like a ball of energy. And that ball of energy is holding you in place so that you don't fall over. Okay? So push up for strength, recognizing that all the stuff is moving around the center spot that's not moving at all. And as you open up into the stretch, that hara, that piece, doesn't really move. It stays right where it is. It's stable the whole time. So you push up for strength, squeezing with your inner thighs, push open for your stretch. Find the stretch in your inner thighs right here. Keep resisting. Squeeze in, embrace any shakiness that's happening. It's totally fine. It's actually really good for you. See if you can keep that shake. See if you can encourage it. Notice how the two sides are linked together. Everything's working. Your arms, even your upper body and your lower body are working together. Your right leg and your left leg are working together. Everything's working together. But moving around this center source of energy that's right in the middle of your abdomen. Right? See if you can find that piece and recognize that it's not really moving. There might be a little, like I am moving a little bit, like front to back like this. I am as I lean forward to get that stretch, but the core of it is that my abdomen is not really moving off of center. Okay? So up for strength and down for stretch. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to go into a stretch for your inner thighs. This one is what we call medial hamstring. You're going to lay on your back. Bring your right leg up so that your leg opens up to the right about 45 degrees. My knee is just going to kind of swing open. Then with my right hand, I'm going to grab my heel. So I've got my right leg, my right hand, my knee is open to the right. Then kick down for strength. So I'm kicking my heel down towards my body. And then I'm going to pull up for my stretch. And since my leg is rotated out to the right, then it looks like a diagonal stretch to the right. But really just think about pulling up and down. You'll feel your hamstring right here on the inner thigh. So kick down for strength and pull up for stretch. It sounds like there's some real serious yard work going on outside, so I apologize if you guys can hear some sort of lawnmower or something. I don't know what that is. Down for strength and up for stretch. I was really trying to use this microphone and I listened back to a recording the other day and it's terrible. I hated it. It was like, oh, the microphone. So I'm just back to the normal, just yelling across the room. I hope you guys can hear me okay. It's better than a little screechy noise of the microphone going back and forth. Oh, okay. Now, after you've done this stretch, let's go ahead into the other side. Take your left leg up, let your knee open to the side. Take your left arm and grab your heel. My thumb's pointing down. And then you're just going to kick your heel down into your hand. You're going to pull up, and as you pull up, it's a diagonal pull to the left. I'm not actively pulling to the left, I'm actively pulling up, but my leg is at a diagonal because it's rotated out. Okay, so that's why it's going to the left. But just think about pulling up over your head, okay? And then as you do this stretch, you're resisting, you're stretching. Notice how your core here is really stable. Like notice how strong your core is as you do this, how you're not falling over, how you're not shaky. You might be a little shaky, you'd be okay. But notice that like really strong core stability, how you're like locked in place from your pelvis. That's your hara, my friends. That's the center. That's where we get all of our strength, all of our core strength. And that's why you notice, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, we don't do core work very much in this class. You don't have to because your body is already doing it, right? You have to stay stable because you're using your arm and your leg at the same time on the same side of your body. How are you not falling over? It's because your core is stable. It's because the center is strong. And that's what we're looking for. The center between right and left, between top and bottom, between front and back. And all of that comes together in your hara. So let's find that source and stay strong within that piece, okay? Now let's go into a stretch for our quads. So what you're gonna do is come up against the wall. You're gonna want a mat or a towel. Sorry's been sleeping on this towel. It's covered in cat hair. So a towel, or just bring your mat up to the wall. You can put a pillow down, although make sure the pillow has it's like not too cushy because then you'll be really unstable. Bring your right leg up so that your knee comes against the wall and your foot is flat on the wall. Then bring your left leg to the front so that you can come up into a lunge. Push your legs in opposite directions. So your front leg is going to push into the wall, your back leg is going to try to push forward, and you just go back and forth. So I use my back leg to push me forward. I use my front leg to push me back. As you do this, find your hara right here in your abdomen. And notice that as everything else is moving, that piece is staying strong and stable, that nothing in that place of your body is moving, that it's solid. Your core is strong. You don't have to actively contract your core. You don't have to pull your belly button to your spine. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It will happen naturally. And as you do that, you'll find stability in this stretch. If you can't find stability in this stretch, it's because there's an imbalance from the front to the back, the top to the bottom, or the side to the side. And we work through that bit by bit. So if you feel unstable, see if you can find that core strength. Find where you feel really strong. You can bring your knee a little further away from the wall if you want. Find that place where you feel neutral and you can find the stability in your hara. And then push a little bit and push a little bit. It could just be movement of an inch back and forth. It could be a movement of like 4 millimeters back and forth, but you still feel stable. Embrace your shakiness. So if you feel a little wobble, find it, accept it, work within the boundaries. What is the wobble telling you? What is the shake telling you? So work within that place so that you can really find the stretch in the best way possible. Okay, it could be a small range of motion. It could be a bigger range of motion, whatever works for you. You can make the stretch your own, right? But I don't want you doing this stretch in a way that feels unstable or a way that takes the attention away from your hara. If you feel this like wanting to topple over, then you're just not finding that. So put your attention in that source core energy. It's right below your belly button, a little bit further in. Right, so let's switch sides. Bring your hands down. You're gonna put your left leg on the towel this time and bring your right leg around to the front and come up into a lunge. If this is tough for you, bring your knee further away from the wall, okay? That should help. You could also put something under your foot, or you could turn your toes the other way so that you're like this, okay? That would be okay too. Now push with both legs. Your back leg pushes into the wall, your front leg pushes forward, and you just move back and forth. So as you come forward here, your strength training your quads. Find your stability. As you push back, you're going into your stretch. Keep that stability. If you feel any shakiness, embrace the shakiness. Let it be, but accept it where it is, and don't try to stop it. Don't try to avoid it, right? But listen to what it's telling you, and honor the boundaries, right? Honor the boundaries that the shaking is giving you, okay? It's okay if you shake. It's not a big deal. It's actually pretty good for you. So use your front leg to bring you into the stretch. Use your back leg to push you forward. Find your core. Find your center. Just put your awareness on it and notice that that piece is moving as one unit. As you come forward, your core moves with you. Your center of gravity moves with you. As you push back, the center of gravity comes back so that everything's balanced. Everything's working as a team. There's an interconnectedness between your legs. There's an interconnectedness between your upper body and your lower body. There's an interconnectedness between the right and the left. Everything's working together and it all converges on that one point. Okay? If it can all converge on that one point in the same way, then that point becomes strong and your balance becomes very stable. It's pretty cool, actually. I think. I'm kind of a nerd about it, but I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is come down onto hands and knees again. And we're going to come up into our warrior pose. I just want to check the clock because I've got some fun stuff to do for us. Okay. So find a standing position. I've got both feet on the ground here. You might even want to just kind of like take a little walk in place to see what your body wants to do and let your feet fall where they are. From here, notice, look at your feet. Are you turned in with your ankles so that you're putting your weight on your toes and your arches are pretty flat on the floor? Or do you feel like your arches are really high? Do you feel like your center of gravity wants to put more of your weight on your front feet or on the back? What does that feel like for you? See if you can just find where you're putting your weight, okay? Now what we want, so what's ideal, is to find here at the bottom of your heel, here at the metatarsal, the base of the metatarsal of your big toe, and here at the metatarsal of your little toe. Find those 3 points, okay? On both feet. So you feel your heels. Shift your weight to your metatarsal of your big toe. And by metatarsal, I mean like the joint, like right here. Like not the toe itself, but the part of your foot that toe comes out of. Then find the outside here and see if you can put all of that energy on all 3 so that the center of gravity centers itself right in the middle of your foot. Once you can find those 3 spots, then we're going to try to raise your arches by externally rotating your thighs. So what you're going to do is go from kind of turned in a little like relaxed legs, keep your feet grounded, but what you're basically going to do is try to pull your toes towards the outside wall. With your feet stuck to the floor, your toes aren't going to go anywhere, but you'll feel your knees start to look out this way. You'll feel your hips open up. You'll feel your glutes tighten up. You'll feel your pelvis do maybe a posterior tilt a little bit. And you'll feel your arches pop up, right? Then let everything go. And now same thing. Start to open wide. It's so subtle. And then close. And as you do this, you'll feel your arches come up. Keep your big toe on the ground. Don't let that metatarsal come off the ground. But just notice how your center of gravity becomes even more stable as you do that. Feel that here. Maybe you don't. It's okay if you don't. But when you're here, notice how your body kind of feels like it's moving in space. You're kind of like, you've lost your anchor, right? You're like floating away at sea. You're just like wandering around in the world, right? So you don't know where to go. There's no anchor. When you plant your feet, externally rotate, find that space, your quads get really engaged, your glutes get really engaged, your arches come up, all of a sudden, you're anchored, right? You are grounded, you're anchored, your body holds you in place. Nobody could push you, like a big strong wind could come by and you just be like, what was this? Is that all you got, right? Find that strength and you'll feel this energy here, right in the core. It's like I said before, a few inches in from your belly button, a few inches down. It's just right about here, okay? Find that force. Then let it go. Let yourself feel unstable. Find that shakiness and then find the core. Find the source. Find the energy. Find your center of gravity right here. Feel it? Okay. So now we're going to challenge that a bit. This is a fun one. You might want to be close to the wall just in case you have a chair around you because it's really going to challenge your center of gravity, okay? You're going to take, I have my left leg behind, I'm going to take my right leg and put my heel so that it lines up with my second toe. Okay, so it's like right in the center of my foot. So it's like I'm walking on a balance beam or like on a tightrope. Okay, this in itself might be tricky for you. So let the wall be there. You're going to engage your legs in the same way, kind of squeezing, trying to pull your legs in together, maybe trying to find that stability, tucking your pelvis a little, find that force in your core. Bring your head to look straight ahead. If you want, you can kind of glaze down a little bit at the floor. Find your core. I told my belly. For some reason, it helps. I feel all that energy there. Now, close your eyes. You might fall over. You might notice that your feet start doing all kinds of funny stuff. So find your heels, find your metatarsal of your big toe, find the metatarsal of your little toe, and find that stability. We're going to hold this with our eyes closed for a while. If you're falling over, open your eyes, and then just keep testing by closing your eyes. And just try it out. This really challenges your vestibular system. Okay, you might feel a little dizzy. It's okay. All right, open your eyes, reset. We're going to do the other side. So bring your left leg to the front. See if you can find your stability with your eyes open. Then when you're ready, if it feels good, close your eyes. Find that core strength. Put your attention on your hara, on that gyroscope in the middle of your abdomen. Notice how much your feet work to create stability for you. Notice how much your legs work for this. How much strength is in there. If you need to open your eyes, you can, but then challenge yourself again by closing them. Balancing, I mean, you guys, it's a funny thing. For your equilibrium to be spot on, for your vestibular system to be working properly, it needs 3 cues. It needs cues from your feet, it needs cues from your eyes, and it needs cues from your inner ear. You need 2 of those to not fall over at any given time, okay? So when you do this, we have our feet there, we have our inner ear, we're closing our eyes to take it out, but what we've challenged is that your feet aren't here, they're here, which makes things a little different, right? That gives you a little bit of an equilibrium challenge, and I think it's so fun. Okay, so now I want to stretch out your lateral hamstring. So you're going to lay on your back. Bring your left leg in and take your right arm and cross over your shin, grab the outside of your foot. If you need to use a strap to extend that reach, you can, okay? So use a strap or wrap a towel around your foot or something, okay? Then from here, turn your knee in towards your right elbow. So it's an internal rotation from your knee to your elbow. You'll kick your heel down. This strength trains the lateral part of your hamstring, the outer hamstring. And then you're going to pull up for your stretch. And as you pull up, since you're internally rotated, this stretch will go over your right ear. So you kick down for strength, and you pull up for your stretch over the right side. Down for strength and up for stretch. Find the stretch in the way that feels the best to you, okay? Now again, as you're doing this stretch, take a second and feel where your center of gravity is. Right now, it is stuck on the ground. You are like solid on the floor. But notice how that piece is staying stable as you're moving, okay? So as this movement happens, your center of gravity is stable and strong, right? It's important because as we start moving in different ways, we're going to challenge that a bit, okay? So I want to make sure that you feel it now right here. Find the source, find the core. Bring your right leg up, take your left arm over your shin and grab the outside of your foot. Turn your knee in towards your opposite arm. So my right knee is cradling in at my left shoulder, my left elbow. You're going to kick down for strength, then pull up for your stretch, pulling up over your left ear, and just go back and forth, down for strength and up for stretch. Find this stretch on the outer part of your right hamstring. If it doesn't feel good, move in a smaller range of motion. If you need a towel or a strap to extend your reach, that would be okay. You just grab it. Just go grab something that you can use to pull. And then put your awareness on your center of gravity so that you can really feel how things can move but you can also stay still at the same time. It's crazy, huh? How you're able to move your arms and your legs, but still keep your core stable, right? And not fall over, not feel wobbly. If you do feel wobbly, it's okay. Listen to that, work within your boundaries, right? So maybe you're going a little too far. Like if you feel like you're doing the stretch and you feel your body shifting and moving, then you're just going too far. So honor where your center of gravity is and keep this part of your pelvis like locked on the floor, locked in place, as everything else moves around it. It's like the sun and all of the rest of your body are the planets, right? It stays in one place. And I know it moves through space and it does its thing, but, you know, if it was a mobile on the ceiling, the sun would stay in one place and everything else would move around it, right? So keep that thing in one place. Okay, so now let's come back up. I want you to grab a chair. Actually, I feel really creative. Let's do this. Grab 2 chairs. If you feel stable, you could also do this with one hand on the floor or on a yoga block or something. But this is how this is going to look. Watch me first, okay? I'm going to take my left leg and put it up on the back of this chair, okay? Now you can use like your couch. You could, you know, you might want to use like an armchair or whatever. You might want to put something under your leg if this feels uncomfortable. I'm putting my hands on the chair here, but you could also have your hands all the way down on the ground like this or on a yoga block, whatever feels good. What you're going to do is bend your right leg and then push yourself back up. So I'm actively strengthening my right leg. Okay, so as I bend here, this muscle is shortening. As I push up, I'm going into a stretch for my right hamstring. This is very similar to that lateral hamstring that we were just doing. Right? So down for strength and up for stretch. Now, as you do this, notice the stillness of your core. Notice how stable and strong your center of gravity is. Right? It's pretty cool. Then let's switch sides. So bring your left leg down, bring your right leg up. Find a place where this feels really good. This should not feel like a strain for you, okay? If this feels like a strain, then your leg's up too high or you're reaching too far to the ground, okay? So find what works the best for you. Then from here, bend your left leg. Find that strength, find that stability, find your core, and then push up through that leg to push your body up, to push your hips up towards the ceiling. Feeling your core stable, feeling like there's no movement happening here from my core. All the movement is happening here from everything that's moving around my core, right? It's like a gyroscope. You know what a gyroscope is? It's like, you know how when they train astronauts in space to like deal with zero gravity? They put them in gyroscopes. So you just go up and down. This is strengthening that hamstring. This is the hamstring we're going to use to go into our warrior pose, because this is basically warrior pose, right? We're just going to straighten this leg out in the back to do warrior and bring our hands to the front, right? So, okay, that being said, let's get rid of these chairs. And it is time to play with this warrior stretch. So, first, stand up. Bring your feet under your shoulders. Something on my foot. You cannot do balancing with something on your foot. Okay, now find your heel, find your big toe, find your little toe. Find those 3 pieces as like a tripod so that everything stays in line. Then from here, try to externally rotate your legs. So it's like you're trying to turn your toes out to the side, but keep your toes on the ground so that your arches raise up. You feel your legs turn open. You feel your glutes engaged. You feel your pelvis tuck a little bit. You feel that good stability in your inner thighs. So find that stability. Feel how strong your ankles are, right? Feel how strong your calves are. Feel how strong your legs are from the core. Feel your source energy here. If you feel a shakiness, embrace the shakiness. It's just trying to tell you that there might be a boundary, right? So find that. Now, shift your weight to your left leg. So what this looks like from this side is I'm just going to put my weight on my left leg. I'm going to find that same stability, but I'm going to try to lift my right leg off the ground. Then you could shift back to both legs. And then lift your right leg up, see if you can find that stability. Opening here. So now you're on both legs. Shift your weight to your left leg. Find it. Now let's put our attention on our right leg. So find both legs. Feel strong. Shift your weight to your right leg. See if you can lift your left leg off the ground. Find that one. Then come back. Every time you do this, find this core strength. Notice how that core strength doesn't really move, that it stays stable. Okay, so find it here. And it stays, your core stays strong. Your upper body, your lower body are connected. Your right to your left, there, everything's working together, right? Yeah. It's when that gets off balance that you can't find your center of gravity. So if you notice that you're like you can't quite stay up, it could be because you don't have your center of gravity in the right place. So you go from shifting your center of gravity right in front of you to now putting it right over your right foot, finding that stability, right? Okay, now, this is where it gets fun. Take your left leg and plant it on the ground. Shift your weight to your left leg and find your center of gravity. Straighten your right leg out behind you just a little so you can see my toe can still touch the ground. As I do that, I'm going to let my head tip just forward a little. Everything shifts to my hips. Find your center of gravity. Find that source, that core energy. It's like a ball of energy right there in the middle of your abdomen. You might want to put your hands on it so you feel really stable. And as you shift forward, all that ball does is just turn a little bit, but it doesn't move. Everything stays stable. And as you come into this stretch, you can go as far as you want and then pull back up. But what you need to do is listen to your body. Notice when you start to shake, honor the shakiness. It's totally fine to shake there, okay? But it's a boundary. It's telling you there's a boundary. So as soon as you start to feel like maybe you might fall over, that maybe the shakiness is too much, that there's a wobble, that you're like, whoa, then you've gone too far. Now, what I notice with my clients a lot, they can be strong in so many ways, but just can't find this gravity, right? They can't find the center of gravity. They'll try to go too fast, and they'll fall over. They can't find it. So really ground through your feet. Move slow, really slow, controlled. If you shake, find that shake. Just pause for a second. Find the shakiness, embrace it. Come right back to where you were, right? Reinforce the stability in your core. Find that place and come right back, okay? If you want to go into the full warrior three, you can bring your hands over your head, either with your fingers together or apart, whatever feels best. As you tip forward, your arms will come forward at the same speed as your leg goes back. When you start to feel the shake, you come right back. Okay, so you're not going to hang out there because this is Ki-Hara, not yoga. We do not hold poses, okay? So as soon as you go into this stretch, you tip, your center of gravity stays in the same place. And as soon as you start to feel like maybe it's not staying there, then you come right back up, okay? Always moving and always resisting. Your resistance here is just gravity. You're challenging that center. Now, let's try the right leg. So plant your right foot. Let your heel come back and your head come forward just a little so that your toe can still touch the floor. And just a little tip. Feel where you start to feel a little shakiness. Put your attention into your core and bring it right back up. Okay, the body is interconnected. Everything's working together. So as you're coming forward into the stretch, this right leg is really engaged. The left leg, the whole body is working together. Your center of gravity is lined up just right. And you pull yourself back up with control. when you feel unstable, okay? Whew. Don't go into the place where you lose control of the shakiness. So you come right back up. If you find yourself falling to get back up, you're just going too far and you're moving too fast, okay? Oh, I took my eyes off the prize. You got, remember, you need your eyes to help you with this, right? Okay. Keep your feet nice and solid. Find your center of gravity. And then, if you want to add your hands into this too, bring your hands over your head and tip, finding that strength through your core, and pull yourself up to a place that feels good, okay? Don't let yourself fall over. If you're falling over, you've just gone too far. This is tough work today. Oh, but so fun. I love these balancing poses. Love them. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, my friends. Oh, I am out of breath. That was hard work. It's 10 o'clock, so we're going to stop there. I want to thank all of you guys who are here, who stuck it out to the end. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up if you like class today. Leave me a comment to let me know who is here, because I'd love to know who I'm working with. Also, if you guys feel like contributing in any way, telling your friends is great. Make sure you subscribe. That's the number one top thing that helps me grow this channel. But also, if you feel the need to, you feel the want to contribute financially, this channel is run by donations. So there's a little link in the description box below, and feel free to make a contribution if that is what your heart desires. Okay, my friends, I'll see you later. Tomorrow class is at 11, Saturday class is at 9 a.m. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.